Commerce Minister, a chartered accountant and a lawyer, Piyush Goyal is now contesting Lok Sabha elections from Mumbai North. Many consider it BJP's safe seat since 2014.
I never got out of the heat and dust. There are no two Shiv Sena, there are no two NCPs. Uddhav Thackeray is the person who broke the alliance for petty political gains just to become the chief minister. We have got a Mahayuti, a very robust, strong alliance.
As a minister, Piyush Goyal has held several key portfolios, from railways to renewable energy. He has earned the tag of a high-profile minister closely working with the Prime Minister and Home Minister Amit Shah. But he has never cultivated any constituency of his own, even though his father, Ved Goyal, has been a minister in the Vajpayee government and his mother, a three-time MLA from Matunga Assembly constituency in central Mumbai. We caught up with the man himself for an exclusive chat between his hectic campaign. He is a three-time Rajya Sabha MP, BJP's chief troubleshooter, an erudite minister who is known for his compelling speeches on international fora. And now he is making an electoral debut. We are sitting in Mumbai North with Piyush Goyal. Thank you so much for your time for NDTV, sir. How has your debut campaign been so far?
It's been brilliant. Getting on to the ground, running, meeting all our old friends, most of whom I've worked with for 30, 35, 40 years, right since childhood, engaging with the people, many of whom have come from other parts of Mumbai. This originally used to be a very low population area, and today it's the highest density in the city of Mumbai. So it's been a great beginning, a lot of love and affection, huge team spirit of the entire party, and Prime Minister Modi's popularity on the ground is unbelievable.
Mr. Goyal, you are stepping out of your comfort zone, one would say, moving away from power corridors of Delhi to the heat and dust of Mumbai. How has it been?
Well, first of all, I never got out of the heat and dust, because over the years we've been handling campaigns of several senior leaders. Of course, apart from the fact that I've also handled my mother's election campaigns, but I was in charge of Advaniji's election campaign when he debuted in 1989. The first time he fought an election was 1989, almost at the age, at my age. So it's been great fun over the years being involved on election trail in the campaign, the heat and dust as you call it. And the only difference I would say is that when you're on the other side of the fence, you're more bossy and more demanding, and you're all the time complaining the candidate is interfering too much and candidate is expecting too much. So now I realize the psychology of a candidate is always a little different from managing a campaign.
A little more on what you said about managing your mother's campaign. In fact, very few people know that Piyush Goyal, in fact, campaigned for his mother in Maharashtra Assembly elections. So I want to understand from you now, what made you take the electoral plunge?
Marya, I always was interested in public life and politics. Politics more because I believe that it's an instrument of change. With one signature, you can impact millions of lives in politics or through the medium of politics. I've been involved with the party affairs almost literally since the time the party was started. I still recall when we had the first national convention of the BJP in Mumbai in 1980. Mr. Vajpayee was staying at my home in Sion, where I was born and brought up all through my first 35 years. And the convention was in Bandra. So I had driven with him from my home in Sion to the Bandra convention as a young 16-year-old. So for me, it's been a journey where politics was always my calling in life. But it was a professor of London Business School, Sumantra Ghoshal, who actually, in a way, while having a conversation with me on a train, incidentally, in the year 2000, prodded me into taking a much deeper and active role in public life, saying that I would never be happy unless I devoted myself to the country.
And since you have taken that journey down the memory lane, it was in your house in 1980s that the alliance of the Shiv Sena and the BJP was inked in many ways, signed and finalized. How is the alliance, the battle of alliances taking place right now in Maharashtra? How do you look at it? Because the reason why I'm saying is that there are two Shiv Senas, there are two NCPs, so people are confused.
First of all, let me start by contesting what you said in the end. There are no two Shiv Senas, there are no two NCPs. The major chunk of the party is what matters. I mean, imagine 13 MPs and almost all the MLAs have come with Eknath Shinde, and they are the true Shiv Sena. The Election Commission has also endorsed that. Ajit Pawar, the entire MLA base, and the public leadership which he has in the state of Maharashtra, the world recognizes he is the true leader of the NCP. So we have got a Mahayuti of the Shiv Sena, Rashtravadi Congress, the BJP, RPI Athavale Group, the Rasapa, and now the Maharashtra Nav Nirman Sena of Raj Thackeray. It's a very robust, strong alliance. So we have some ragmatag small groups which are remaining outside, more for their family affiliations, the desire of Mr. Sharad Pawar to install Supriya Sule at the cost of Ajit Pawar, or the desire of Mr. Uddhav Thackeray to install Aditya Thackeray. Even though, if you look back in history, Raj Thackeray was the rightful heir of Bala Saheb's legacy. So it's unfortunate that, as they say, blood is thicker than public adulation or public demand. And therefore, I don't believe that in any way there are two Shiv Senas or two NCPs. There is only one Shiv Sena, which is with Eknath Shinde. There's only one NCP, which is with Ajit Pawar. I recall with fondness the day when Bala Saheb Thackeray had come home to Sion to meet Atal Bihari Vajpayee ji. It was in 1984, just before the Lok Sabha election. And I still recall that day as if it happened yesterday, where Bala Saheb came home. He was in the living room. Vajpayee ji was having a little slight nap in the afternoon, which he used to do post lunch. And I went up to wake him up and get him out to meet Bala Saheb. In the meantime, my brother was showing Mr. Thackeray around the house, showing him a washing machine and a dishwasher, which my brother had brought when he had returned back from the US to India. So it was a very beautiful meeting. They both met very fondly. And we had an alliance which was formed in 1984, where Shiv Sena was given only 2 seats, 2 Lok Sabha seats, one of which was from where I stayed, Matunga, Sion, Dadar area. And I remember the late and very popular leader Manohar Joshi ji contesting from there on the lotus symbol. They didn't even have a formal symbol. So Kamal ke phool par, Kamal ke symbol par, Manohar Joshi had fought from our area, and another candidate from the interiors of Maharashtra. Only 2 candidates were from the Shiv Sena.
Sir, as a key mediator of this alliance, many would say, as political observers like us, that this is more of a desperate alliance which doesn't really have an ideological base.
You're talking about the India alliance, I assume.
I'm talking about the Mahayuti.
No, Mahayuti was always there. The Shiv Sena and BJP were always allies.
The new alliance.
In fact,
Ajit Pawar,
new. I'll come to that.
Shinde.
I'll come to that. Look, the BJP, Shiv Sena, RPI, We were always in alliance. MNS has supported us in the past also. There's nothing new about it. If you look into the history of the relation between Shiv Sena and BJP, the 2019 Lok Sabha and Assembly elections were fought by this alliance together.
Yes.
And believe me, at that point of time, it was Mr. Modi's popularity that got the Shiv Sena, the support that they received, Shiv Sena and BJP fighting together with RPI did fantastically well. But clearly, it was the combined vote that helped the Shiv Sena and its MPs and its MLAs win. Sadly, it was Mr. Uddhav Thackeray who broke the alliance and chose to join hands with the arch enemy, Congress, about whom Balasaheb Thackeray ji had once said that I will never align with the Congress. I'd rather shut down my party than ever dream or think of aligning with a party as corrupt and as communal as the Congress. So I think in a manner of speaking, Shri Uddhav Thackeray is the person who broke the alliance for petty political gains just to become the chief minister, even though neither did he have the majority, neither did he have the adulation or support of the people of Maharashtra. He joined hands with the arch enemy Congress, people who are today attacking Hindutva, the core ideology of the Shiv Sena, people who are attacking Sanatan Dharam, people who were at one point of time totally against the Congress corruption are now hand in gloves with the Congress corruption. I think it's a very sad day for the state.
But are you not worried that there is a possibility of sympathy for Uddhav Thackeray and Sharad Pawar?
One usually has sympathy for a person who has been wronged. And if at all somebody has been wronged in Maharashtra, it is Prime Minister Narendra Modi. If somebody has been wronged by the actions of Uddhav Thackeray, it is Devendra Fadnavis, who was announced as the Chief Minister candidate in rally after rally during the 2019 Assembly election. In front of Mr. Uddhav Thackeray on stage, our leaders have more than one occasion said Devendra Fadnavis will be the Chief Minister. We took votes in the name of Devendra Fadnavis. I think if at all there will be sympathy, that sympathy will be for Mr. Modi, for Mr. Devendra Fadnavis, for the BJP who trusted Uddhav Thackeray.
Has the disillusionment of the onion farmers been addressed?
There is no disillusionment. I think it's more Mr. Sharad Pawar creating false narratives which has been taken by the reporters as juicy news, so you are propagating it. Let me tell you the reality. Mr. Sharad Pawar was the agriculture minister of the UPA. On more than one occasion, he has banned the export of onions. He has put minimum export price on onions. He has restricted export of sugar. He has banned export of sugar. He has put minimum export price of sugar. Crops which Maharashtra is very much, which are relevant to the Maharashtra farmers. So it's not as if this has happened for the first time. Mr. Sharad Pawar started this. We, in fact, have not wronged the farmers because in Mr. Sharad Pawar's time, this used to be done and it is required to be done to protect the interests of 140 crore consumers. After all, 140 crore consumers can't be left to the vagaries of the market having to pay 100 rupees a kilo, for example, for sugar or onion. Therefore, these restrictions are often done when the crop is low or demand is high. What he did not at that time do was worry about the farmers and left the farmers to their own fate, and prices used to crash in Maharashtra. What Mr. Modi's government and what the BJP has done is we have balanced the interests of farmers and onion consumers. Whenever prices went up inordinately or production fell, we have introduced a new thing called buffer stock and a price stabilization fund. They were not there in Mr. Sharad Pawar's time. Through the buffer stock, for example, last year we bought 7 lakh tons of onion. And for the first time in the history of onion farming, the prices never went to the abysmally low levels that were a regular feature during Sharad Pawarji's time. Whenever the prices went down, NCCF and NAFED were right there in all the mandis buying onions to make sure that we give farmers a fair price. We would subsidize the onions we bought with the price stabilization fund and have provided onions to the consumers at over 21,000 outlets, many of which are mobile vans at 25 rupees a kilo. So that we have balanced that farmers get a fair price, consumers are not made to suffer, and Modi government has spent 28,500 crores for the benefit of farmers and consumers to ensure price stability.
Mr. Goyal, you have done several press conferences opposing OPS decision of the Congress party. This time, in the manifesto, it is not even mentioned. This was the big idea that they were hoping will attract voters in Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh. We know the results, what happened. What do you think, why do you think has the Congress not really emphasized on it in its manifesto?
I think they have realized, and so have most of the government servants, that the current scheme is giving them a far better value. The earlier schemes, or the national pension scheme or old pension scheme, had a number of pitfalls, was fiscally very imprudent. Mr. Chidambaram and senior leaders of the Congress are on record, Pranab Mukherjee ji, the late president and earlier finance minister, all are on record that the new pension scheme is the right way to go forward. It's a internationally acclaimed model, and our government pensioners will get a very fair deal, possibly better than the old pension scheme, given the robust growth of the economy and the Indian industry and the way those investments are fetching better returns for the employees who retire.
Just last couple of questions, particularly to do with electoral bonds. Is that really an issue resonating with the masses, since you
Not a single person has ever asked me that. You're the first reporter also who's asked me that. Because very clearly everybody understands that that was brought in to bring greater transparency in electoral funding. I think the Congress is so much used to black money funding that for them they were very disconcerted or very uncomfortable, because we were ensuring that everybody gives the money through a bank account, through a formal system, and it goes into the Congress party's bank account. My feeling is that many of these opposition parties do not desire to get formal funding, they want to get cash funding. And a lot of it they may be skimming off, God knows what they do, and whether they use it for the party or they use it for personal gain. And I don't even think the country should allow any of that money to fund elections and spoil the democratic process. Prime Minister Modi in fact reduced the donations which were allowed anonymously from 20,000 per donation to 2,000 per donation, to see that we can reduce the influence of black money. Sadly, the Congress and other parties desire that that should continue. We feel that it will take some time. People will ultimately realize that what Mr. Arun Jaitley had introduced is the right thing for the country, and but we respect the decision of the Supreme Court, and we will see how this impacts political funding.
Last question to you, sir. Looking at the national picture, many would say that you are among very crucial members of Team Prime Minister Modi in sending that message of Prime Minister Modi being the Vishwa Guru. How central is that messaging with regards to his third term?
He has proven through his track record of 10 years that how an honest, hardworking and visionary leader can change the destiny of a nation, and a nation as vast and diverse as India, in a short span of 10 years. He has earned the trust of the people of India through his outstanding performance both at the national stage, internationally, through his several welfare measures for the poor, through his consistent effort to ensure that the women of India are empowered for a better quality of life, through the work that he has done to encourage young boys and girls, men and women, to contribute to the destiny of the nation in a much bigger way. The adulation the youth have for him is absolutely unbelievable. You go anywhere and if it's a young audience, they'll burst out into Modi, Modi, Modi. It's difficult to get them to stop so you can start talking. the adulation is just phenomenal. And the way he has taken the country to greater heights of self-reliance, Atmanirbharta, whether it's strengthening the farmers of India, whether it's strengthening the workers of India, the Vishwakarmas, the factory workers, the MSME sector, the handloom and handicraft sector, Khadi, he's truly touched every life across the length and breadth of India. And that is what has endeared him, that is what has got him the popularity that is a once in a lifetime. The world doesn't have a leader who has a popularity rating consistently for 10 years as high as Prime Minister Modi. And may I share with you a small example which will be interesting for your viewers. I was in San Francisco late last year for an APEC summit which Honorable Prime Minister could not attend. I was standing in for him, and at the last dinner where all the world leaders were assembled, the Mexican president got into a conversation with me, and he said that I wonder if in India you read that poll that comes out every week about the popularity ratings of all the leaders. I said, you're talking of the Morning Consult. He said, oh, so you also follow it? I said, yeah, we know about it in India. He said, for 10 years, Mr. Modi has been always ranked number one for 10 years. And he's been top of the chart for every week for 10 years. But 1 week I had overtaken him.
So that was...
And that 1 week was a matter of pride for him, that he could overtake Prime Minister Modi for 1 week out of close to 500 weeks. So I think this is what the world today sees in Prime Minister Modi. This is what 140 crore Indians experience with Mr. Modi's leadership. That is what empowers us to, with confidence, go to the public with Abki Baar 400 par.
So 4th of June, your number.
4th June 400 par. There's no question about it.
They say life comes a full circle. As Mr. Goyal told me, 40 years ago, the Shiv Sena BJP alliance, fronted by none other than Bala Saheb himself and Atal Bihari Vajpayee, was inked in Ved Goyal, Piyush's father's residence. 40 years later, Piyush Goyal is bang in the center of a battle of alliances in Maharashtra as the Mahayuti's pick for Mumbai North. That polls on 20th of May.
Bharat Mata ki! Bharat Mata ki!